Hey Technofreaks, Techno-Odin here, continuing the character breakdown series, this time for Guilty Gear Strive. Today, it looks like there's no need to hold back, with Sol Badguy. The physical embodiment of what Japanese executives think Americans look like, Sol Badguy is basically the Ryu of the series. If Ryu had been doing lines with Black Sabbath the night before. He's that easy to pick up and play character with a simple moveset that can go crazy if he wants. Key normals are as followed, and I think it would be best if we use the numerical annotations for this series just to save time in the future. So let's put this little fella over here, and now we can begin. Starting with the cleverly named Command Normal 1, this is Sol's 6P or forward punch, just for starting references. This has Sol deliver a tremendous gut punch to the opponent that sends them rolling about 2 jumps back. Like I say in my beginner's guide, which is over here if you haven't watched it, 6Ps are universal anti-airs, as they have invincibility on the top half of their hitboxes. Now on its own, this move isn't anything special. In most cases, the opponent can't be touched after you land the punch. But if it's a counter hit, then that's a different story, as the opponent will hang in the air for a moment, giving you enough time to cancel in for a special attack to get some extra damage. Next we have his standing slash, or 5S, which is arguably one of his most spammiest attacks because, well, look at it. This is another gut punch with some decent range because you travel like a madman to land it. I mean, look at this stupidity. It's almost a movement option in itself. This move is safe on block in the sense that they can't punish you, but you can be countered with a kick or punch, so linking into the heavy slash and getting the opponent conditioned to your stagger game is a must. Now the move's counter hit stuns the opponent long enough to combo into normals you wouldn't normally be able to do, including a second 5S. His close slash is pretty decent too, but be careful as it lifts the opponent into the air, and a good chunk of the buttons you follow up with knock the opponent down. This includes 6P, 5S, and to an extent 5HS, so you've got to use any other move to keep the combo alive. Like our next key attack, his Command Normal 2, the forward slash or 6S. This is a decent mid-range flaming slash that is great for that mid-range poke game, and if it hits as a counter, your opponent will be popped up into the air for a potential combo. This is also a good move to follow up the close slash with, as the move will keep the opponent close enough to you to cancel into a special move. But its big downside is it doesn't Gatling into anything, so you're going to definitely need to use a special if you land a normal hit with it. Still though, it's a really good move. Moving on to his heavy slash or 5HS, this move's counter hit deals a decent amount of damage and has a lot of stun time that allows you to get a small simple combo off via the likes of 5 or 6S. And while in the corner, it can be really useful off that close slash, as the move will bounce the opponent up into the air for more Freddy time. His penultimate key attack is Crouching Heavy Slash, another decent anti-air move with the counter popping the opponent up high for combo antics. It's also one of the only other ways to get any form of combo potential from his close slash, without specials or roaming cancels. The only downside is it has no invincibility like 6P does. So if you read the opponent's jump late, this move won't help you much. But if you read it early, it's your best friend. Finally, we have his last Command Normal, the forward heavy slash, or 6HS. This is Sol slam his sword into the ground, along with anything he connected with on its way down. This deals a huge chunk of damage and will launch the opponent up on a counter hit. However, it's really punishable if it misses or is blocked. This move also counts as a hard knockdown, so a good idea if you do get the counter is to follow up with a second 6HS and get that more advantageous setup. I'll also add his dust attack in as an honorary mention because it's literally one of his best moves and always has been, being able to Gatling from his jumping kick. Landing this near a wall will bounce them off said wall, and with some good timing can extend your combo or stick them to the wall where they are going to be at your mercy. Now on to the specials. We start things off with Gun Flame, which is Sol's version of the Hadouken, only it's not your traditional projectile, and its range leaves a lot to be desired. But what it lacks in range, it makes up for in block, stun and setup. Knock the opponent down, use Gun Flame, and they will need to block, and you can keep your pressure. You can also purple Roman cancel just as the flames come out and run alongside the attack. This is literally one of the best attacks he has, and if you invert the directional input, you will get a feint version where no flames actually come out, and you recover a lot quicker. This can help catch the opponent off guard when they were expecting the flames and allow you to mix things up. It's a good idea to use this after the 5S5H string because that is one of your main block strings, and depending on if they block or not, you can confirm into one or the other. Next is Volcanic Viper, Sol's version of the Shoryuken, the invincible anti-air attack that comes in 2 different flavors. The slash version does less damage but is really quick, so it's a lot harder to punish, while the heavy slash version hits a lot harder but leaves you wide open if you miss. One of the big downsides with Volcanic Viper is you can't Roman cancel either if you straight up miss the attack, so you need to be smart with when you use it, otherwise you're going to have to take a beating like a champ. Now remember, this move does have invincibility, which means it's a great counter to overdrives that have a big gap or slow startup. Something like Kai's Ride the Lightning, Ino's Ultime Fortissimo, or Leo's Leidenschaft des Dirigenten. The latter being one you can snuff out a lot earlier than you're normally allowed. Our next move is Bandit Revolver, Sol's version of the Hurricane Kick. Looks more like Jago's kick from Killer Instinct, but yeah, this is really just a lunging knee that on hit confirms into a second kick that smashes the opponent to the floor. The move can also be done in the air, and this is his main combo extender if you have tension, as it carries the opponent a fair distance, and if you time a good red Roman, you can carry the opponent almost to, if not through, the damn wall. Now a big boon of this attack is also it is fast recovery. So a great option if you don't have tension is to use a move like Gun Flames the moment you land, as the recovery time will give them almost no room to really do anything but block. It's a really strong move. Next we have Bandit Bringer. This is a frickin' Superman punch to the ground. It seems to be safe on block, acts as a true overhead so needs to be standing blocked, and this will dodge low projectile attacks, while also being performable in the air, which if you do, you can hold the kick button down and delay the move to add a bit of baiting. Now a good thing to learn with this move and any aerial based special is the art of Tiger Knees. This is taken from Sagat from Street Fighter. Basically, if you do the special's motion and add a forward or backward jump to it before you add the attack button, so for this it would be 2147K, Sol will perform the aerial Bandit Bringer almost as though it's the ground version, thus making it more difficult for the opponent to read. And it's not just Sol. Every character with an aerial special can do this, so there'll be something I'll be going to more details in their own breakdowns. His next special, how many moves does this guy have? Is Wild Throw. And in trying to really differ from his Street Fighter / Killer Instinct counterparts, Sol gave himself a command grab that does stupid levels of damage, but there are a few reasons for this. 1, its range is super short. 2, you can't combo into command grabs in Guilty Gear, and 3, because he slams the opponent almost through the ground, it counts as on the floor, meaning red Romans don't extend a combo here. So yeah, moderate risk, high enough reward. Our penultimate special is Night Raid Vortex, or as I think it was originally called, Ground Viper, and this is more or less Sub-Zero's slide from Mortal Kombat, because why be one starter character when you can be them all? Seriously, all he needs is a teleport and he's golden. This is a low profile slide that when held down can travel up to full screen. Its low profile means it ducks and dodges high profile moves, so projectiles or anything Nago Ryuki does, and on hit will pop the opponent up for combos, which its counter hit does flawlessly. It's so good you can actually go into the aerial combat route if you want it. The main downsides are 1, it cannot be cancelled into from your normal moves, so you have to get creative to extend with it, using counter hits with enough airtime to go into, that sort of thing. And 2, they block it, you die. Now if you have tension, you can be a bit sneaky and use a purple Roman before you connect. This will give you some more time to think about what you're doing, and if you're really quick with your inputs, you can go into something like a wild throw or catch him with a cheeky 6H for that potential counter, or even Volcanic Viper for those iframes. Trust me, this little tidbit has clinched me a lot of matches lately. Our final special, it's over! It's almost over! Is Fafnir, which I believe is Scandinavian for Falcon Punch. No, don't look it up. This has Sol do what Sol do best, and punch the opponent so hard in the face they literally bounce off the floor in a blaze of glory, which can pop up for a cheeky bit of a combo. It's advantageous on block and travels a fair distance, which can make it a really decent counter fisher, making the pop-up stupid free. Big downside once again is this comes at the cost of being unable to cancel into it, a la slip and slidey uppercutty, and the fact that it's so damn slow. Like seriously, it's only supposed to feel like slow motion in your head, Sol. Again, you can kind of use that pace to your advantage with a purple Roman and cancel it into slip and slide for a little high-low mix-up, but the best place to use this is after Bandit Revolver or Gun Flame. Delay Fafnir a tiny tick after Bandit Revolver and they have to block or eat the feast. Do it after a long distance Gun Flame is blocked and we're in the same situation. And since you get a good chance to Gun Flame after Bandit Revolver, we kinda have a holy trinity of setup. For overdrives, we start with Tyrant Rave, a simple 1-2 punch that hits with enough kinetic energy that would make this look like this. On its own, it deals almost half health, and it can be comboed into. Its only flaw is its range, since Sol is just keeping things at arm's length. Not like he has a huge ass sword or anything, but yeah, this will be your main combo ender if you have enough meter or are close enough to the wall, since it will instantly break said wall, netting you all that wally goodness. Okay. Finally, we have Heavy Mob Symmetry, where Sol unleashes the beast and activates his dragon install to deliver a chokeslam from hell to the opponent. This would basically be classed as a level 3 super. It can't be comboed into, so has to be done raw, but to compensate for that little drawback, it is his highest damaging attack and says a big f you to any form of attack. If you've got enough time to activate it, you win. Ride the lightning, bailed hard. Kamehameha, cooled. Whales, nuked. Honestly, this move is stupid good, but it does have its weaknesses. Technically, he counts as blocking instead of straight up invincible, so can technically be pushed back with multi-hitting attacks, which ties into his next issue. It's a grab, so jumping beats it, as does any move that can be done in the air. This makes the old tiger knee inputs a godsend, especially if you're able to do it with overdrives that can be done in the air. Realistically, you as Sol just want to catch the opponent mid-animation, so they have almost no way of getting out. All in all, Sol, for someone who is classed as a starter, still has a lot going for him, which is kind of the way of Guilty Gear. Even the simplest of characters can have enough in his arsenal to feel like you have a ton to do. As for game plan ideas, utilize that deceptive range. Just because you can get in the face of the opponent to ruin their day, doesn't mean you really need to. Remember, you have a lot of tools that can get in from a distance that punish stupid choices. Gunflame is your best friend, and mixing things up with the normal and feints can really help you out. And don't forget the invincibility on Volcanic Viper. It can stuff almost any block string they try. Keep all that in mind, and you will show that restraint's not your thing. Okay, that's it for today's video. I hope it helped, and if it did, let me know by liking, sharing, subscribing, and tyrant raving that bell thingy to keep yourself notified when the next video will release. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Twitch to join in on the streamy goodness. And finally, tune in next time where restraint would be unwise with Kai Kisk. But until that day, this has been Techno Odin. Stay safe, playing skulls, and let's rock.
Know the smell of the game.